The Moonlight Cafe
You look
wasn't much.
sad.
12 tables,
It's
flickering
nothing,
neon sign,
just a
and a
long
coffee
day.
machine that groaned
You
like it
don't
was
have to
dying.
pretend with me.
But it stayed open until
It's
3
not
a.m.,
easy being like
serving
this.
whoever needed
I
coffee,
know.
sanctuary, or somewhere to hide from the night. Amara wiped down the counter for the third time that hour. Her feet ached. Her back hurt. But rent was due, and her little brother Marcus needed new school supplies. 2 jobs meant 2 shifts meant barely sleeping. The door chimed. She looked up. A man entered, Korean, maybe early 30s, expensive black coat that screamed money. He walked past the other tables and sat in the darkest corner, back to the wall, eyes scanning the room like he was expecting an attack. Amara grabbed a menu and approached. Evening. Coffee? He didn't look at her. Just nodded once. Americano. His voice was flat, empty. She brought the coffee 3 minutes later. He didn't drink it. Just stared at the steam rising like he could see ghosts in it. Amara had seen a lot of lonely people in this cafe. But this man, he looked like loneliness had become his only companion, and she had no idea that this stranger would change everything. The man came back the next night. Same time, same table, same black coat, same dead expression. Amara served him coffee. He didn't drink it. This became a pattern. Every night for a week, he arrived at exactly 11:47 p.m., ordered coffee, never drank more than a sip, just sat there, staring at nothing. The other late-night customers noticed him too. Some whispered. Some deliberately chose tables far away. One regular, an old taxi driver named Mr. Kim, leaned close to Amara one night. "That man? Do you know who he is?" "Should I?" "Stay away from him. Just trust me, serve him. Don't talk to him." But Amara wasn't scared. She'd grown up in rough neighborhoods, had dealt with difficult customers before. This man didn't seem dangerous to her. He seemed broken. On the 8th night, as she set down his untouched coffee, she couldn't help herself. "You know, you've ordered coffee 8 times and barely touched it. Maybe try the tea instead? It's gentler." He looked up at her then, really looked. His eyes were dark, sharp, intelligent. But underneath the cold exterior, she saw something else. Pain, deep, old, unhealed. He didn't answer, just returned to staring at his coffee. But Amara noticed. His hand trembled slightly as he wrapped it around the cup. Whatever this man was carrying, it was heavy. Amara started paying more attention. Not because she was interested romantically, she didn't have time for that, but because something about this man bothered her. He dressed in clothes that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Expensive watch, perfect haircut, polished shoes. But he came to a rundown cafe at midnight and sat alone in the dark. The contrast didn't make sense. One night she noticed his knuckles, scarred, old wounds healed badly, fighter's hands. Another night, she saw him take a call. His entire demeanor changed, from exhausted to commanding in seconds. He spoke in rapid Korean, voice cold and authoritative. When he hung up, the exhaustion returned immediately. He's important, Amara thought. Someone powerful, but also someone who's incredibly tired of being powerful. She'd seen this before. Her father had been a community organizer, respected, loved, but worn down by the weight of always being strong for others. He died of a heart attack at 47. This stranger reminded her of her father's final months. That same look of carrying too much for too long. On the 10th night, Amara made a decision. When she brought his coffee, she also brought a small plate. Lemon cake. On the house. You look like you need something sweet in your life. The man stared at the plate for a long moment, then looked up at her, and for the first time in 10 nights, she saw the ghost of almost recognition in his eyes, like he was remembering something painful. "Thank you," he said quietly, then actually ate the cake. It was progress. The night it happened was ordinary, rainy, slow, only 3 customers in the whole cafe. The stranger arrived at his usual time, settling into his corner table like a king claiming a throne. Amara was exhausted. She'd worked a morning shift at a cleaning company before coming here. Her whole body ached, but she pasted on her professional smile and approached. "Coffee? Tea tonight? You said it was gentler." It was the most words he'd said in 2 weeks. Amara brought him chamomile tea with honey. As she set it down, she noticed how tightly he gripped the edge of the table. Knuckles white, jaw clenched. Whatever he was holding inside was threatening to break through. The words came out before she could stop them. "You look sad. You should eat something." The cafe went silent. The other 2 customers, both regulars, froze. The old man reading a newspaper slowly lowered it, eyes wide with something like fear. The college student studying in the corner closed her laptop and quietly gathered her things. The stranger looked up at Amara, and she saw his expression crack. Just for a second. Surprise. Pain. Something that looked almost like grief. His lips parted like he was going to say something, but he just stared at her. Not angry, not cold, just shattered. Amara felt uncomfortable suddenly. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." "No." His voice was rough. "Don't apologize." He stood abruptly, put down money, way too much, and walked out into the rain without another word. The moment the door closed, the old man rushed over to Amara. "Do you know what you just did?" "What?" "I just suggested he eat something." "That man is Kang Jae-min." Mr. Kim whispered the name like it was cursed. "You don't know that name? Should I?" "He runs everything. Everything that happens in the dark parts of this city. People don't speak to him. They don't even look at him unless given permission." Amara felt her stomach drop. "You're saying he's dangerous, very dangerous. People who upset him disappear. People who disrespect him end up in hospitals, or worse." "But I didn't disrespect him. I just said he looked sad." "That's the problem. Nobody talks to Kang Jae-min like he's a normal person, like he has feelings. You treated him like he was human. That's either going to get you killed or something else. I don't know which is worse." After Mr. Kim left, Amara stood alone in the empty cafe, hands shaking slightly. She'd heard rumors about organized crime in the city, but she'd never imagined. She thought about the man's eyes, the pain in them, the way her words had broken through his armor. Maybe Mr. Kim was wrong. Maybe Jae-min was just a businessman with a bad reputation. Or maybe Amara had just made the worst mistake of her life. Amara didn't sleep that night. She kept replaying the moment, the way Jae-min had looked at her, the way the cafe had gone silent, the fear in Mr. Kim's eyes. When she got home to their tiny apartment, her brother Marcus was still up, studying by lamplight. "You're late. Work ran over. Why are you still awake?" "Couldn't sleep." "Are you okay? You look worried." "I'm fine, just tired." But she wasn't fine. She kept thinking about what Mr. Kim had said, about Jae-min being dangerous, about people disappearing. The next night, Amara arrived at work expecting what? She didn't know. Maybe for Jae-min to never come back. Maybe for men in suits to show up and intimidate her. Maybe nothing. At 11:47 p.m. exactly, the door chimed. Jae-min walked in. He looked different. Not angry, not cold, just tired. He sat at his usual table, waited. Amara took a deep breath and approached. "Coffee or tea tonight?" "Food. Whatever you recommend." She blinked in surprise. In 3 weeks, he'd never ordered food. "The kimchi stew is good, homemade." "I'll have that." 15 minutes later, she brought the stew. Jae-min ate slowly, methodically. When he finished, he looked up at her. "Sit down." It wasn't a request. Amara glanced around. The cafe was empty. She sat. "You spoke to me like I'm human yesterday," Jae-min said quietly. "Because you are human. Most people don't see it that way. They see power, fear, utility, not humanity." "That sounds lonely." Something flickered in his eyes. "It is." After Jae-min left, Amara cleaned up his table and found money. Again, way too much. But this time, there was also a note. Simple, written in clean handwriting. "Thank you for seeing me." She stared at those words for a long time. Outside, through the cafe window, she saw something that made her blood run cold. 3 black luxury cars were parked across the street. Men in dark suits stood beside them. When Jae-min exited the cafe, all the men bowed deeply. Not casual nods, full bows. The kind of respect that came from fear, or power, or both. Jae-min said something to one of the men. The man nodded, got in a car, and drove off. The others remained, watching the cafe, watching Amara through the window. She stepped back from the glass, heart racing. Mr. Kim had been right. This wasn't just some rich businessman. This was someone with real power, real danger. She thought about quitting, about never coming back to this cafe. But she couldn't afford to lose this job. Marcus needed her. They needed every dollar. So she made a choice. She'd be professional, polite, but distant. No more personal comments. No more kindness that might be misunderstood. She'd serve Jae-min like any other customer. Nothing more. It was the smart thing to do, the safe thing. Except deep down, she knew it was already too late. Whatever had started between them, this strange connection, wasn't something that could be undone. The most powerful man in the city had been seen, and he was coming back. In his car, Jamin sat in silence as his driver navigated through Seoul's nighttime streets. His right-hand man, Minso, sat in the passenger seat, phone in hand. "Sir, we have the quarterly reports ready for review. Also, the Park family is requesting a meeting about territory." "Not now." Minso fell silent. He'd worked for Jamin for 8 years, knew when to push and when to stay quiet. After a long moment, Jamin spoke. "My mother used to say that to me. Sir, when I was young, before she got sick, she'd see me upset and say, 'You look sad, you should eat something.'" Every time. Minso said nothing. Everyone knew Jamin's mother had died when he was 16, that her death had changed him, made him hard, driven. "I haven't thought about her in years," Jamin continued, deliberately, "because remembering hurt too much. Then this woman, this stranger, says the exact same words, like my mother reached across time to remind me of who I used to be." "The cafe worker?" She looked at me and saw sadness, not power, not danger, just sadness. "When was the last time someone did that?" Minso had no answer. "What do you want to do about her?" "Nothing. Everything. I don't know." Jamin leaned back. "Find out about her, but discreetly. Don't scare her. Just make sure she's safe." "From who?" "From anyone who might use her to get to me. From this world. From me." Minso nodded and made a call. Within an hour, they'd have heard everything. Amara's full background, her family, her debts, her struggles. But what they couldn't find was why her simple kindness had broken through walls Jamin had built over 15 years. That remained a mystery, even to him. The pattern changed after that night. Jamin came to the cafe every evening, always ordered food, always ate. Sometimes he talked to Amara, small conversations. "Where are you from? How long have you worked here? Do you have family?" She answered carefully, gave just enough information to be polite without being personal. But Jamin was patient, persistent. Slowly, she started relaxing. He wasn't what she expected. Yes, he had power. Yes, people feared him. But with her, he was just a person. Someone who listened when she complained about difficult customers, who left generous tips that helped her make rent, who seemed genuinely interested in her life. "My brother wants to be an engineer," she told him one night. "That's ambitious. He's smart, smarter than me, but college is expensive. There are scholarships, programs, for kids with connections, not for kids from our neighborhood." Jamin said nothing. But 2 weeks later, Amara received a call. An anonymous scholarship foundation wanted to interview Marcus for full college funding. She knew immediately who was behind it, confronted Jamin that night. "I can't accept this." "Accept what?" "You know what? My brother's scholarship, the mysterious foundation that doesn't exist online, that came out of nowhere. Maybe someone noticed his potential. Don't lie to me, please. If we're going to have any kind of whatever this is, don't lie." Jamin met her eyes. "I didn't lie. I just helped. There's a difference." "I don't want your charity. It's not charity. It's a gift from someone who understands what struggling means, who knows what it's like to fight for family." "That's manipulation. That's caring. Learn the difference." That night was the first real conversation. Not customer and worker, not power and ordinary, just two people. "Why do you really come here?" Amara asked. They were alone in the cafe. It was 1 a.m. "Honestly, I don't know anymore. At first it was because I needed somewhere quiet, somewhere no one knew me, somewhere I could just exist. And now it's because you're here, because you see me as Jamin, not as what I represent, because for 1 hour a day I get to be human. You're always human. No, I'm a function, a tool, a source of fear or profit or protection. People don't see me. They see what I can do for them or what I might do to them." "That sounds exhausting." "It is." He paused. "That's why when you said I looked sad, it broke something in me, because someone finally saw, really saw, not the power, not the danger, just the exhaustion." Amara felt her heart soften despite her better judgment. "Why do you live like that? If it's so exhausting, why not walk away?" "Because people depend on me. Because the structure I've built keeps order, keeps certain people safe. If I walk away, chaos fills the void, people get hurt. So you sacrifice yourself. That's what leaders do, real ones. Not for glory, for responsibility." They sat in silence, Amara understanding more than she wanted to, about burden, about sacrifice, about choosing duty over peace. "I need to tell you something," Jamin said. "People are watching you now, because of me. I've tried to keep it quiet, but word spreads. Some people might see you as leverage. Leverage for what? To control me, to hurt me, to test me. Amara felt fear creep in. Then stop coming here. Stay away from me. I can't. Why? Because I need this. Need you. Need someone who treats me like I'm worth more than my power. Amara didn't know what to feel. Part of her wanted to run, to quit this job, move to another city, protect Marcus and herself from this dangerous world. But another part, a part she didn't want to acknowledge, wanted to stay, wanted to help this broken, powerful man remember his humanity. Why? She finally asked. Why can't you just be normal? Walk away from that world, live differently. Because 23 people's lives depend on my organization running smoothly, because my network keeps 3 neighborhoods safe from worse predators. Because the power I have isn't just for me, it's for people who can't protect themselves. That's a convenient justification. It's the truth. I'm not good. I've done terrible things, made choices that haunt me, but I try to use my power responsibly. That has to count for something. Does it? Really? Or are you just justifying violence with noble intentions? Jaemin had no answer for that. The next night, he came back, but this time he brought something, a ledger. What's this? Amara asked. The last year of my organization's activities. Read it, see what we do, then decide if I'm just a monster justifying violence. She took the ledger home, read it cover to cover, and was surprised. Yes, there was darkness, protection money, territory control, intimidation, but there was also funding for community centers, stopping human trafficking operations, protecting small businesses from worse gangs, providing jobs for people with criminal records who couldn't find work elsewhere. It wasn't black and white. It was gray, complex, human. When she saw him next, she said simply, I understand. I still don't like it, but I understand. That's all I ask. Not approval, just understanding. Why does my understanding matter so much? Because you're the only person who's bothered to try. Everyone else has already decided who I am. The danger started small. A man Amara didn't recognize sat in the cafe for 3 hours, watching her, not ordering, just watching. The next day, someone followed her home, stayed across the street from her building for 2 hours. Amara told Jaemin. He went very quiet, then made a phone call. It's handled, he said. What's handled? The Watchers. They won't bother you again. What did you do? What I had to. Don't ask for details. But word had spread. Other crime families now knew that Kang Jae-min visited a small cafe regularly, that he cared about a woman there, that she might be a weakness. One crime boss, Park Dong-hyun, saw opportunity. If we take the girl, we force Jae-min to negotiate on our terms. He's been refusing our expansion into his territory. Time to apply pressure. Sir, Jae-min doesn't respond well to threats. This could escalate. Let it escalate. I'm tired of his moral posturing. Time, he remembered what this world is about. They moved carefully, subtly, started with intimidation, escalated to direct threats. One night, Marcus was followed home from school. The next night, Amara's apartment building had a small fire, suspicious origin. Jaemin felt his control slipping. He could protect Amara during the day, but he couldn't be everywhere, couldn't watch every moment, and his enemies knew it. We need to move her, Minso said. Somewhere secure. She won't go. She's not part of this world. Won't accept protection that comes with strings. Then what do we do? Jaemin had no answer. Amara started noticing the protection, even though Jaemin tried to keep it invisible. Black cars that appeared whenever she walked to work. Men in suits who happened to be near her bus stop. Security cameras that suddenly worked in her building for the first time in years. You put people on me, she confronted Jaemin one night. I kept you safe. I didn't ask for that. You didn't need to ask. Someone has to. This is exactly what I was afraid of. I'm becoming part of your world, a piece on your chessboard, something to protect and control. You're not a piece. You're what? What am I to you? Jaemin struggled for words. You're the person who reminded me I'm human, who saw past everything else, who treated me with kindness when no one else would. You're what? Your friend? Your project? Your redemption? My hope, he said quietly. You're my hope that I'm not completely lost, that there's still something good in me worth saving. The honesty in his voice broke through her anger. Jaemin, I can't be your salvation. I'm just a cafe worker trying to survive, to take care of my brother. I don't have the capacity to save anyone. I'm not asking you to save me, just to let me know you, to have this one space where I can be real. But it's not safe for either of us. I know, but I'm selfish enough not to care. Before Amara could respond, the cafe door burst open. 3 men, guns, not pointed, just visible. The leader smiled. Kang Jaemin, Park Dong-un sends his regards. Jaemin stood slowly. His entire demeanor changed. Gone was the tired man seeking peace. This was the crime boss. Cold, calculating, dangerous. You made a mistake coming here. Did we? Seems like we found exactly what we were looking for. The man gestured at Amara. Leverage. Touch her, and you start a war you can't win. Big words from a man who's outnumbered and unarmed. I don't need weapons. I just need a phone. Jaemin pulled out his cell, made one call, spoke 3 words in Korean. Within 2 minutes, sirens approached. Police cars, legitimate ones, surrounded the cafe. The 3 men looked confused. Did you just call the cops? You? I told you, I'm restructuring, going legitimate, which means I have new friends in new places. These officers are here because I reported suspicious armed individuals threatening a business. The leader tried to bluff. We'll just tell them you're… What? A criminal? Go ahead. I have documentation for every business I run. Legal counsel, political connections. What do you have? Illegal firearms and Park Dong-hyun's protection, which means nothing to legitimate authorities. The police entered, arrested the 3 men, never even questioned Jaemin. After they left, Amara stared at him. What just happened? I showed you who I'm becoming, not who I was. The old me would have handled that with violence. The new me uses law, structure, power that doesn't require bloodshed. Since when? Since you asked me why I couldn't just be normal. I'm trying, restructuring everything. It's slow, messy, but I'm trying. For me, for myself, you just gave me a reason to start. The incident made news. Crime boss goes legitimate, the headlines screamed. Jaemin's restructuring wasn't a secret anymore. Some of his organizations supported it. Others resisted. You're making us weak, one lieutenant said. We're predators. You're trying to turn us into businessmen. We're evolving, Jaemin corrected. Adapting. The old ways are dying. Better to change willingly than be forced to by law enforcement or rivals. But change cost. People left his organization. Rivals saw opportunity. Violence increased for a few weeks as other groups tested his resolve. Jaemin held firm, used legal methods, political pressure, economic leverage. Slowly, painfully, his empire transformed. Amara watched this from a distance. Read articles, heard whispers, saw the toll it took on Jaemin during their nightly conversations. You're exhausted, she said one night. This is harder than ruling through fear. I know, but it's right. And I can do hard things if they're right. What if it fails? What if you lose everything trying to change? Then I lose everything, but at least I'll lose it trying to be someone you could respect. I already respect you. The words surprised her as much as they surprised him. You do? You're trying, really trying, to be better, to use power responsibly, to change an entire system from the inside. That takes courage I don't think I have. You have courage. You spoke to me like I was human when everyone else treated me like a monster. That was brave. They were close now, closer than they'd ever been. The cafe was empty, just them, the space between them charged with something neither wanted to name. I need to tell you something, Jaemin said. What? I think I'm falling in love with you. Amara stepped back. The confession hung between them like smoke. You don't love me. You love the idea of me, the redemption I represent. No, I love your strength, your kindness, the way you see through facades, the way you challenged me to be better. That's not an idea. That's you. Jaemin, I can't be part of your world. I have Marcus to think about, a normal life to protect. I'm not asking you to join my world. I'm changing my world to be worthy of being in yours. That's not how it works. You can't just transform overnight. Your past doesn't disappear because you want it to. I know, but I can build a future different from my past. With you, if you'll let me. I'm scared. Of me? Of this. Of caring about someone whose life involves danger and violence and things I don't understand. Of watching you get hurt or arrested or killed. Of having to explain to Marcus why the man I'm with is in the news for the wrong reasons. Those are fair fears. And I can't promise none of them will happen, but I can promise I'll do everything in my power to build something safe, something legitimate, something you don't have to be ashamed of. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm just cautious. That's smart, take your time. I'm not going anywhere. But the universe had other plans. Park Dong-hyun wasn't satisfied with failure, wasn't willing to accept that Jae-min had outmaneuvered him, so he escalated. The next night, when Amara opened the cafe, there was a message spray-painted on the wall. Tell your boyfriend he can't hide you forever. Jae-min saw the message and something in him snapped, not into rage, into cold calculation. This ends now. He called Park Dong-hyun directly. We need to meet. Finally ready to negotiate? No. Ready to end this. Permanently. Your choice. We handle this legally through proper channels, or I remind you why people feared me before I went legitimate. You think you can threaten me? I'm not threatening. I'm stating fact. You have 24 hours to cease all activities targeting Amara and her family. After that, I respond, and you won't like how. I'm not scared of. You should be, because the old me would have come for you with violence. The new me has something worse. Evidence, documentation, witnesses. I have everything needed to put you away legally, for decades. Your choice, back off or spend the rest of your life in prison. Park Dong-hyun was silent. Then, you're bluffing. Try me. Jae-min hung up, sent his documentation to prosecutors he'd cultivated relationships with, testified formally about Park's operations, used every legal tool available. Within a week, Park Dong-hyun was arrested, his organization dismantled, the threat ended, but it cost Jae-min. By fully cooperating with authorities, he exposed parts of his own past, had to make deals, had to give up power for protection. You sacrificed your empire, Min Seo said. For what? A woman? For principle, for the right thing, for someone who deserves to be safe. Was it worth it? Ask me when this is over. The trial took months. Jae-min testified, put himself at risk, but Park went to prison, and Amara was safe. The cafe was safe. Marcus was safe. When it was finally over, Jae-min returned to the cafe. He looked different, tired but lighter, free. It's done, Jae-min told Amara. Park is in prison. The threat is gone. At what cost to you? My organization is smaller, more legitimate, less powerful in traditional ways, but cleaner, legal, something I'm not ashamed of. Was it worth it? Yes, because I can look at you without guilt, without worrying that my past will destroy your future. That's worth any cost. Amara felt tears building. You didn't have to do all that for me. Yes, I did, because you gave me something no one else ever has hope. Hope that I could be more than my worst choices. More than the violence I was raised in. More than the fear people felt when they heard my name. What are you now? I don't know yet, still figuring it out, but I know what I'm not. I'm not a monster. Not anymore, thanks to you. I didn't do anything. You did everything. You saw me, really saw me. Not the power or the danger or the empire, just the sad, exhausted person underneath. And you offered kindness without agenda. Do you know how rare that is? It shouldn't be rare. It should be normal. In most worlds, maybe. Not in mine. In my world, kindness is weakness. Compassion is vulnerability. You taught me that's not true, that the strongest thing I could do was be honest, be human, be real. They were close again. The cafe empty, the world reduced to just them. I still don't know if I can do this, Amara admitted. Love someone with your history, your complications. I don't need you to have all the answers, just to be willing to try, to see where this goes. And if it doesn't work, then at least we tried. At least we were brave enough to see if something real could exist between two very different worlds. Amara took his hand. It was rough, scarred, but warm. Okay, let's try. 6 months later, everything had changed. Jae-min's organization was fully legitimate: security consulting, real estate, legal import-export. He'd cut all criminal ties, paid restitution where possible, and rebuilt from the ground up. It cost him. Some former allies became enemies. Some opportunities vanished. But he was free. Free of constant fear. Free of moral compromise. Free to build something he could be proud of. Amara watched this transformation with amazement. The feared crime boss became a respected businessman. The man everyone avoided became someone people sought out for advice. But the most surprising change was personal. One evening, Jae-min came to the cafe with Marcus. They were talking about engineering, about college applications, about future. Marcus clearly respected him, trusted him. Your brother likes me, Jae-min said after Marcus left. He does. I was worried he wouldn't, but you've been good to him, to both of us. I owe you both. You gave me a reason to become someone worth respecting. You were always worth respecting. You just needed to see it yourself. Maybe. But you held up the mirror, made me look. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Jamin pulled something from his pocket, a small box. What's that? Open it. Inside was a key. What's this for? A cafe, in a better neighborhood, fully paid, bigger, better equipment, yours, if you want it. Jamin, I can't. Not charity, investment. I believe in you, in what you do, in the community you build here. Let me help you expand. Be your silent partner. You run it, I fund it. You get better working conditions. I get to be part of something good. Amara looked at the key, at Jamin's hopeful expression, at the future it represented. On one condition. What? You're not a silent partner. You're an active one. You show up, help, be present, not because you owe me, because you want to. He smiled, really smiled. Deal. The new cafe opened 3 months later, bigger, brighter, in a neighborhood that needed it. Amara ran it with skill and passion. Jamin helped when he could, financially, logistically, even occasionally serving coffee. The community embraced it, a safe space, a gathering place, a beacon. 1 year after that first night, they held an anniversary celebration. The cafe was packed. Friends, family, neighbors, business partners. During a quiet moment, Jamin stood up. I need to say something. The room quieted. A year ago, I was lost. Powerful but empty. Feared but lonely. I came to a cafe looking for peace and found purpose instead. Because one woman saw past everything else and said 5 words that changed my life. You look sad. You should eat something. People smiled. Some knew the story. Others were hearing it for the first time. Jamin continued. Those words reminded me of my mother, of humanity, of kindness. Amara didn't know who I was, didn't care about my power or my past. She just saw someone hurting and offered comfort. That simple act broke through 15 years of walls. He turned to Amara. You gave me a gift I can never repay. You reminded me I'm human. You challenged me to be better, to use power responsibly, to build instead of destroy. Because of you, I'm not the person I was. I'm someone I can respect, someone worthy of being in your life. Then, to everyone's shock, Kang Jae-min, former crime boss, feared leader, powerful businessman, knelt in front of Amara in a room full of people. Thank you, he said simply, for seeing me, for caring, for believing I could change. Thank you for reminding me who I used to be and showing me who I could become. Amara knelt too, took his face in her hands. Thank you for listening, for trying, for becoming someone extraordinary. They stayed there, 2 people from different worlds who'd found common ground in kindness, honesty, and the courage to change. The room erupted in applause, but Jae-min and Amara barely noticed. They were too focused on each other, on the future they'd build together, on the proof that sometimes the most powerful thing in the world isn't violence or fear or control. It's simply seeing someone's pain and offering kindness. That's what changes everything. That's what breaks mafia kings and rebuilds them into better men. That's what transforms darkness into light.
You're very welcome. It's a cold
And
one
it all
today.
started with 5
It is.
simple words.
This hits the spot.
You look sad. You should eat something.